So yeah, this is going to be interesting. Also, yes, I know it's a different image, but more on that. Like I said, different image. I lost the original image. That was the background that was used for, like, by the way, this is what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. That went away somewhere. Don't know where. Yay. But overall, it's not. But this, I find this interesting. So overall, I do know generally enough about PAW Patrol. I've seen a couple of the things. It's not connected to this. It's mostly, I think, in a different area. Besides the characters, I think this and the PAW Patrol series are separate. I have my head. So yeah. But you have most of them in this. And I like it. It's fun. It's interesting. I like how we're going through each one. It makes me question which is next, because this one dealt with the first one dealt with Chase and his thing in PAW Patrol the movie, and this is sort of like the Mighty movie, which is Mighty Pups, where they're getting superpowers, which essentially deals with Sky, which I like. It's fun. Let's get into it actually. So, Sky, out of all the PAW Patrols, is sort of the smallest. I think even they said is I was in a pack, I was the runt of the litter, and you can either see that she was left behind because of that thing. Which kind of is interesting, that was like, oh, a sort of thing that was like left. It sort of shows Riley sort of like looking for like pups in need of and helping them, and then they're like, oh, why don't we help other people, which is fun. There's also an interesting point that they did the first one, which is Chase, and then this one, which is Skylar, which I like as a thing, where it's like they focus on something that's important. Chase had the whole thing with, I know I'm doing the first one, but but I think it's interesting because of that. Chase had the whole thing with the anxiety with heights, while Skylar dealt with the whole situation of feeling like she was the smallest one in a pack and no one could really rely on her. Meaning, like, later on when she needs to get the crystal back, her crystal, she risks it by taking everyone else's, doing this great thing, and then slowly but surely afterwards coming back. You also get a moment that, I forgot the name, but there's this, I think a hot dog, or what's the dog name? The one that's like really long. They're like, oh, doesn't have the power, and then later on, it's like they find out that her ability is to like stretch, and it's interesting because like, oh, that's I think the only crystal that wasn't taken, so you can do, they do a thing like passing the crystal that gives each one of their powers around each one of them, which is a fun idea. I don't know which one will be next, because I feel like there will be like, they're going to like different ones. The next, I did a bit of research on this, the next PAW Patrol movie is dinosaur like theme. I don't know how, but it is. But so if I went with what I think it could be based on that, that would be the sort of, I think it will either be like sort of like going, I don't know why rubbish, but I was thinking like, no, not rubbish, rubble, because it's digging and like excavating and like experimenting. Or you can actually say it's something to do with like a landmine situation of finding something underneath something that looks, one person thinks is trash. I think it's Zubul. No, Zubul's the water one. I forgot the fire hydrant one and the one that does the rubbish. Zubul. No, that's not it. So it could be one of those. I don't know. That's not important. I don't usually theorize, but that is just one thing that I wanted to point out that I think could be interesting. Like, who's next? Justice League and Ruby. Part 1. This is going to be fun and interesting, but I hope you enjoy, and good night.